Welcome back and get back into the story with us. So, last we left off, the group had completed this underground temple dungeon, assisted the Spring Sugars, Sugar Springs, maybe incestuous duo, whatever way that the party views these two individuals, had made their way back into New Lynette, had committed insurance fraud and
Uh-huh.
intimidation to gain a chunk of money, and find themselves back now, currently, within the warehouse of Jax, which is Geraldine's sister. And with that happening, they've been sent up the stairs to wait in the office room, which is just outside Jax's office. So, for the idea of you guys, the way that this is kind of broken up is you remember whenever you were in school, like high school, and if you had to go like see the principal or anything like that, it was divided into the secretary and then the principal's office.
Mhm.
That is how this is laid out, but it's very modern corporate. So there's those kind of like really super plain kind of gray tone uh fake leather couches for you to like that you kind of sit on and you sink a little bit too deep into because lots of people have sat on them and they never bother to change them. There is a desk with nobody currently sitting at it. And between other than that, there's maybe like a single like plant in the room, like a fake kind of office fern. And then there's a door that is completely made of this like frosted glass that you can't see through, and the wall that separates this room and Jax's office. You've been told that you maybe have about 30 minutes before Jax is going to be here. If you guys want to do anything, feel free to absolutely, you know, attempt to do things now. Um, if you guys would like to just wait the 30 minutes, let me know and we'll just skip straight to that. But I now hand the reins over to you guys to continue the story.
Hang on. I got a quick question here. I've got reconnaissance nipple piercings.
You do indeed.
How do those work exactly?
Those work in a sort of we would call the technology beamforming, which is that one sends out and one receives. Um, but anything within that beam that interrupts it gets picked up as sound waves. So it is like long distance. You know, whenever you see in spy movies, people sitting in the car with the, I think it's called an orbital microphone, and it's like the microphone with like a kind of like a cone dish around it, and it lets them like pick up things through walls or like through windows as long as they like point
Okay.
it at the person. They work like that. So essentially, as long as Kronk like kind of like puffs out his chest and points them towards someone, he will be able to hear what the people are saying.
As long as one of the nipples is behind
No, if
it?
if both of the nipples are on him, like if both of the piercings are on him, they still work. It works like an so as long as he can, as long as he like points his chest towards someone. Because it should say these were originally earrings, but Kronk wanted them as nipple piercings.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Because I already got earrings.
yeah,
Come
yeah.
on. Okay. So if I wanted to try to listen behind the wall where Jack's in there, could I stretch and like squeeze the old tatas together and try to
Yeah,
listen
absolutely.
behind? I think I'll absolutely do that inconspicuously.
Yeah, as you focus on using them, they you it's a strange effect because suddenly part of your brain gets filled with this kind of static noise that you can hear, and you can hear every now and again. the noise of what sounds like a creature doing a kind of it sounds like a cat purring, but it's the only thing you can hear on the other side of this door.
Uh, mm, this room's probably bugged, isn't it?
Would you or any of you like to do a investigation check for bugs?
I
Is
put on my
I
goggles and I'm gonna roll investigation with advantage.
Okay.
I lean down to Geraldine and go, "You think this room can listen to us?"
That's gonna be a nat 20.
Holy shit.
Yeah, this entire place is wired. The
Okay.
whole thing.
Like to explode? We gotta get
No,
out
I
of
think it
here.
means like a rave.
Oh, then we
Fucking
gotta
wired.
stay in here. I didn't think Jax was like that. That's rad. You didn't tell me your sister was cool.
You uh as you search um Drazian, you search kind of the obvious places first. So like in the leaves of the fake plant, underneath the desk of of like the secretary, behind books, underneath the sofa, behind the sofa, all that kind of thing. Um, you catch at one point Kronk searching himself for bugs, just in case she somehow got one on him.
He's looking for real bugs.
He's like
Oh,
he's looking behind his
Ants and
ear.
I gotta check for ticks. Lyme disease is no
Um,
joke.
You don't find any in the immediate places that you look. But as you, on a natural 20, as you continue your search, you kind of think about, well, where's the best place to put this? If somebody's talking and you look at the phone that is on the desk and you pick it up, and as you pick it up, you can hear a very small rattle inside the phone. It's kind of like a conference speaker landline phone, that would be used, like by a secretary. That everything gets routed to this, and then she can put it out, or he can put it out, or whoever works here. You don't know the secretary here can put it out towards wherever it's going.
Does Kronk hear the rattle in the phone?
Kronk doesn't, because Drazian is
Okay.
the one who like picks it up, and do you know whenever it's like, oh, I wouldn't have heard that if I didn't feel it like moving.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. So only because Drazian picks up the phone and feels the rattle happen, Drazian also hears it.
I look over at GB and just like motion for her to come and look at it.
Okay.
Do you saying anything else? Or are you just motioning?
Well,
That,
well,
like,
I-
you
I-
found something.
Yeah, I'm motioning because it's bugged.
There's like a couch in here or something, right?
Oh yeah, there's like two of the kind of like couches that you would see in like a corporate office, where it's like, if you just wait right here, he'll call you in when he's ready.
Mm.
Those
If
kind of
Geraldine
couches.
was sitting on one, when she stands up, Kronk goes and lays like planks straight down on the couch so he can try to hear what's going on the floor below him.
Wait. What? No, what I do is I just telepathically communicate with Geraldine that this phone is bugged, cause like we've got our
yeah.
earpieces.
Okay. Yeah,
I
if you
forgot that we
if
could
you
do that. Whoops.
if you want to like to specify between the two, if you like hold your ear whenever you're like talking through your telepathic earpiece, you can kind of go, so I just, oh, okay guys, here's, this is bugged. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like,
Get down, Mr. President.
GB, this phone is bugged. I'm not sure if it's only bugged whenever someone picks up to call it, or if they'd be able to hear us right now if they were speaking. So, do you think this is safe to dismantle and get rid of this thing, or would that cause more problems than it's worth?
Miss Geraldine, a second bug has been found in the phone.
GB is noticeably irritated with everyone nearby
Okay.
and says out loud, "I know."
Lilith has done nothing. She's just
That's
sat. She's gonna let
That's
the
it.
boys
Just-
run around. This is
GB's
ridiculous.
just gonna say, "I know," and
Okay.
just continue. She's not gonna get up and like come look over or anything. She's just gonna say, "I know."
And as is Jason still holding the phone?
Yes.
Kyler's gonna go.
Like holding it up.
Yeah. Like, dude. Kyler's gonna walk across and punch in a number, and then punch in another number, and a connecting number, and then your Jason will hear through the phone, in Aquan, the talking clock. So like to dial time, but dialing time in another country.
Okay.
Kyler then goes and sits back down, and looks bored on his pixie.
Both of you, as you finish calling, you originally hear the dial tone, and before you hear the voice of the Aquan talking clock, you both, as you're kind of listening, hear that.
Okay.
And as the talking clock ends and then hangs up, because it's like it automatically hangs up, you hear once again.
Is this serious, or is Mux just excited to test out the soundboard?
No, this is serious.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like, is it a serious issue, or is it?
Oh, okay.
Not like did it like it happened, but like, is it like Shall I do it again?
I give the phone to you and I go sit down. I've tried stuff and the effort has not been clearly appreciated. So I'm like, okay, so we're just sitting here and waiting then.
Okay, not a problem.
Lilith is gonna ask telepathically to Geraldine. How do you want us to handle this, Geraldine?
It would be really great if we all just sat here in silence for like 20 minutes. I would just absolutely love that. If everyone would just calm the fuck down. That would just be so great for me, actually.
Geraldine's still pissed that nobody told her about the insurance fraud scam and that she cried over Kronk's possibly dying body.
Are we on the same day as that? Or is that yesterday?
This is about
the same
20
day.
minutes later.
This is about 20 minutes
yeah.
later.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Does Kronk planking on the couch reveal anything about the floor below? Anything interesting? Any conversations?
There's actually a rave going on downstairs.
There's
The whole
no
place is wired.
there's no conversations happening, but you do hear just like kind of muffled and in the distance the noise of, like boxes moving, people kind of calling out orders, and at one point you're pretty sure you hear as something breaks, and you kind of like go, what's that? And then you just hear, again, very muffled because of the way that these work, you just hear this kind of, oh shit, not the plates. Oh fuck. Oh, how am I going to tell Jerry about this one? Oh shit.
Someone broke some plates. And Kronk lays down on the ground and starts slowly rolling like a steamroller,
God,
just trying to see what his nipples pick up
what the?
while he's waiting.
In intermittent loops, you continue to hear every now and again the noise of factory work, warehouse work, people pulling crates across the ground, shouting orders. You sometimes hear the distant sound of the ocean as you kind of like aim at certain directions, and every time you aim towards the sky, you just hear birds. The birds that are
Lays on the
flying
ground and
overhead.
listens to the birds.
Okay.
Kronk likes listening to the birds. I'm stimming, don't bother me.
Stimming. Okay. As Geraldine has made herself very clear, the group continues to sit in relative silence. If you're talking telepathically, you're talking telepathically. None of you quite have the control yet to send messages to individual members of this kind of closed network. But with time, that will come. So anything you say now is heard by the entire party.
You just hear Sparrow, Bluebird. I think that one's a rapscallion.
You name,
As
you
you
name 5 people. I'll name 5 birds. I'll name 100 birds.
I'll name 100 birds.
Dank as Brennan Lee Mulligan reference.
That's good shit.
As you listen to Kronk identifying birds as they fly overhead, enjoying the sound of nature and his avian interests, as the birds fly overhead and disappear. About 30 minutes later, give or take five minutes, there is the sound of, and you never thought that this would be a distinctive sound, but it is somehow a distinctive sound. The sound of high quality business heels walking up a metal warehouse staircase. And you can almost, all of you hear this and can instantly kind of sense that's Jax. Jax is coming. And as she
Gronk
comes,
snaps up impossibly quick to Geraldine's side and stands like a bodyguard.
okay. As Kronk stands up, not 5 seconds later, the door unlocks and opens, and not even looking at any of you, like sunglasses on from being outside, her short kind of hair slicked back into an almost like stuck to the head, very business-like look. The hair is incredibly straight. You can see it doesn't look greasy, but you can see like the product in it that is keeping it in this rigid form.
The only thing that's incredibly straight about her, I'll tell you.
She is in this like immaculately detailed along the trims and edges grey power suit and a pair of black heels. And she just walks past all of you, opens her office door. As she does, everybody can now hear the purring of a cat on the other side. And she leaves the door open, and you can kind of hear, and some of you who are sitting in certain positions can see her go in and sit at her own desk in this office. There's 5 or 10 seconds of silence before she goes, "I'm not going to wait forever. Come in."
GB's gonna
Gronk thinks,
get up and
"You
be the
could've
first
said
one to
something."
walk in.
GB's going to get up and be the first one to walk in. Not a problem. As GB stands up and is the first to walk in, Kronk immediately behind her, being really living up to this bodyguard, the kind of like hands, even when it like is uncomfortable for Kronk, his hands are like clasped together, like down at his waist, doing the kind of Secret Service pose, and he kind of like he struggles to fit through the door a bit, but he doesn't like move his arms. He like shifts to the side and ducks in and under, and just kind of catches up with her, walking a little bit like his top half is a Muppet, but his bottom half is human. Eventually, the entire of the Mandem is within Jax's office, sitting, standing, whatever position you feel like your character would maintain. But sat directly opposite Jax in the kind of office chair, like that is always in this kind of setting. It's like, take a seat, take a seat. Sat there directly opposite Jax is Geraldine. Jax looks at her computer for a bit, presses some buttons, spins around and looks kind of like if she's like typing like this, she then spins around, clasps her hand, and leans over the desk and like leans fully into it to get as close and like as intimidating a stance as possible, and goes, "I heard everything went to plan, dear sister. How lovely of you."
Do what I can.
I must say I was surprised that you managed to be successful, given your track history, but I suppose if not business, then why not adventuring? Everybody has to be good at something. I'm good at making money, and you're good at making stupid decisions. And maybe
Sure.
you're good at... Maybe you're just as good at making me trust you once again. She sits back. Well, you've done something for me. And any good businessman keeps up to their end of the deal. What have you come to me for? And why have you brought this children's cartoon gang with you?
Ruh-roh, Dean. Rings on to us.
Rex, where are my resticles?
Geraldine's gonna sort of sit there for a second and look down at her hands, sort of a little fidgety, and say, "We were all expelled together, and I thought our talents could be useful here."
As she sits back, her head, the mention of you being expelled, her head kind of cocks and goes, "My sister, the one who fought tooth and nail to go to an adventuring university rather than a school of business, got expelled from the place that she swore so heavily would do her good. I didn't
Yep.
realize you had a bad streak in you."
Turns out they don't like it when you accidentally destroy an ancient temple altar of sorts.
You can see she kind of glances over to her computer screen, and she glances back. "And you're saying that all of you were involved in this?"
In various ways, we all were reprimanded for it. Yep.
You technically are telling the truth, so I'm not going to make you roll deception just yet, but I'm watching out for what you're saying. As she kind of sits, and you all notice, because she makes no secret of it, she looks back and forth between her computer screen and Geraldine. None of you, however, are in a position where you can see what is on the screen. "I see. And why have you come here to see if you can be of use? Little black sheep of the family."
I met with Dad while he was in town, like a week or two ago. Got caught up in some other family business, and he said something about not being proud of me.
You can see... Actually, could you roll an insight check for me?
Do you want guidance on that?
I'll take it.
Are you going to risk casting guidance in front of...
Let me check. what the actual components of guidance are. They're verbal and somatic.
So you would need to speak something.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay then.
And the somatic is as simple as touching,
Mm-hmm.
but the verbal is
It
you're
is
casting
touch,
you're
yeah.
casting a
Okay, no, I'm gonna do it. But the prayer in deep speech disguised as a sneeze. Sorry.
Wait, can Kronk? Kronk must have been looking around for whatever made that purring sound. Has Kronk located what that is yet?
Well, there's a cat on Jax's desk.
Like, probably just allergic to cats.
What's a
Okay.
cat?
Okay. Kyler, roll a performance or deception, your choice.
They are both, I think, +5.
Then your choice, whichever makes you feel luckier.
Performance, because I don't think. Yeah, let's do performance. A dirty 20.
Yo.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your guidance number because it does succeed. Jax does not call you out on it.
It's only a 1. So GB can have a +1 to any
All
roll.
that for a
Yeah.
1?
All that for a
All
1.
that for a drop of
Hey.
blood.
Maybe
that's
don't
why
roll
we
like
play
yourself right now.
That's why we
Don't.
play the game, baby. That's why we play the game.
GB, don't roll like yourself. Don't roll like yourself. Oh god, and I have the acceleration. Hold on. I'm just gonna sit here for the 5 seconds it takes to roll.
You chew, baby. Let's go. Oh,
22.
Okay.
more like a 23.
No,
if you
23
wanna add the
with
1,
guidance.
Absolutely, we're adding the 1.
Carry the 1, baby.
Are you going for the 23 or are you going to keep the 22?
I'm gonna save the 1
Okay.
in case I have to roll something again. Actually, if I can.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's fine. You just add it
Okay.
on to anything for the next hour, I believe it is.
It's a
Okay.
minute, so
It's a minute. Okay.
I would use it now.
Oh, okay.
For a check in the next minute.
Okay.
Okay.
Just go ahead and lie again. I'm sure.
So
I haven't-
with
I haven't lied.
with a 23, as much as you and Jax may not have gotten along growing up, being sisters does still have its merits. As at the mention of your father telling you that he is not proud of you, you watch a familiar pang of pain travel across her face in the split of a second. It is there and it is gone as quickly as it arrived. At the words of, like, Dad said he wasn't proud of me, her face. I'm autistic, so I can't do it very well, but her face does the.
Yeah.
And as that happens, you can see it takes her a second longer than normal to come up with what to say next. Father's words can be motivational. I am shocked that they brought you back after such a long time, though. From what I remember, anytime Father tried to talk to you, it was met with talk of the stars not thinking that this is the way, of morality and what is right and wrong. Of course, they do say that when you go to school and when you go to university, the way you think changes. And I hope that that's what's happened with you, sister.
These woke universities changing our youngsters.
You could have tried to take the payment from the Sugar Springs, Spring Sugars, the clients. But you told them to give it to me. So this isn't about money. You've returned. So this wasn't about convenience. The way I see it, either you're lying to me, or you finally come to your senses. And I might need a little bit more time to be sure of which. But nevertheless, I believe we agreed on payment in the form of me not immediately kicking you out and offering you what assistance I am willing. So are you only here for a job? Are you here to make money? Are you here to try and win your way back into mother and father's heart? What's going on?
I thought that this would at least be a good starting spot for us. So as long as you have work that we could do, I thought we could be useful.
She sits back and relaxes in her chair once more. And without an insight check this time, all of you see this. It is the face of a businessman presented with an opportunity. It's that kind of slightly evil, wicked grin kind of flashes across her face. You see she reaches into one of the drawers on her desk and takes out a pen and a notepad. And she kind of goes, "Now I don't hire without knowing what people have to offer me. I know much of your talents, sister. That's not to say that you haven't grown while you've been away, so I would like to ask each of you what you think your strengths are and what you think your greatest weakness is. You will talk whenever I point to you, and from that I'll decide what kind of jobs I will offer you. I'll do my best to keep you as a group, but if the work must." She scans around the room. The one that immediately catches her eye is Kronk, who has been stuck to Geraldine almost like glue. "Big one, what are your strengths and what's your greatest weakness?"
Is she pointing at me?
Yeah, she is. She's pointing with the pen at
Okay.
you. Kind of, I have one here. She's like doing that.
Hello, Bronk, Jody's bodyguard. Good at strong, bad at think.
I can see. She notes it down. She moves across side to side, then points at Lilith.
I thought she was testing Kronk's eyesight. All right, now follow.
Kronk does like
Oh no, it's the dyspraxia exercises are back to haunt me.
It's both the cat and Kronk both are following the tip of the.
but no, she kind of like does the thing where she's like, she looks at the faces of the people she hasn't talked to, and then she goes, "You," at Lilith. "Your strengths and your weakness."
I'm good at a lot of things, and I'm bad at. You don't need to know. Then can I roll? I don't
She-
fucking know.
She doesn't seem to be super interested in actually getting the details out of you. She's
Good.
You can see that she's more interested in reading your personalities.
Great. Lilith said that way better than I just said it.
I'm good at many things, and I'm bad at things that you don't need to know about.
Perfect. That was way better. Thank you.
Lilith has a higher charisma score than Alaska does, so sometimes you gotta fill in the blank.
Yeah.
So,
She
Alaska's like, I good things look cute.
I'm pretty.
gun. Bible.
God,
I'm pretty half gone.
I'm pretty have guy.
She kind of like nods and takes down the notes. And then without hesitation this time she points to Kyler. Blue
You-
boy.
Not know who I am.
I haven't a fucking clue who you are, which is why I'm asking.
Really, it's not obvious from how I'm dressed, how I talk, how I act.
You're a trust fund douche? I don't know.
Exactly.
Vicious mockery. Damn. 10 points of psychic damage.
Kyle is translating the words in his head. I'm a paladin. My name is Marnix, and I can't write.
You're right. I think Lilith says that out loud.
Make a deception check for me.
Wallahi, I cannot write. That's guidance. That's
Okay.
invoking. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
If you're gonna make me check it, which I thought
There
you
is
probably
also prophetic idiot if you wish.
would. Dose. It's not prophetic idiot. It's prophetic screw up.
Prophetic screw up.
Yeah. Idiot is a bit
It's
hard.
just
Section
different.
2-3s, mate.
That's offensive.
We'll see how I do. That is a 19 plus 5 plus 2, so 24.
So 26.
Yeah.
Okay. And she
Wow, I really believe that you just can't write.
she does look a bit like
The name was fake. It was Aquan, but it was fake. It
Yeah.
was fake.
but no, she's looking at you like a little bit like there's not incredible amounts of trust there, but she doesn't have enough proof to know that you're lying kind of face. She writes it
Oh.
down.
Frank in his head to everybody goes, "Oh no, I'm not gonna be able to remember everybody's fake names too. I'm just gonna call you Jeans.
Yo, jean jacket.
Hey Jeans."
She, after kind of pointing to Kyler, she goes across and she like slows down as she's pointing at Geraldine, and then flicks over to Drazian.
Name's Dracos. Military background. Proficient with martial and magic. Don't ask me to heal anyone, because I tend to do the opposite.
And your weakness?
That is the weakness. I'm not the person that you get to patch someone up. I'm the person that you get to take care of any messes or anyone that's talking too much.
You see that she kind of smirks and she goes, "Good to know that that's what you see as a weakness." And she writes it down. And she puts the pen down. And she looks at Geraldine and just goes, "I know everything I need to know about you, sister. Anything I don't know, I'm sure you can prove. But you and your team have jobs for now. So, you all seem to be in the profession of adventuring. And if what you say is true about blowing up a temple, You all seem to be pretty good at destroying things. She pulls out 2 coins from her purse and sets them on the table. I've got 2 jobs that I could use some help with. It's entirely up to yourselves if you want to help me on them. But these are the only 2 things I have going currently. And what I need to truly prove. And she takes out the pen again. And on one of the coins, she marks the number 1. And on the other coin, she marks the number 2. And she pushes the coins apart. So they're like at opposite sides of her desk. And she leans back in her chair. I need to know that you're willing to take up the order, no matter what the job is. And that you're not going to ask too many questions. So, do you want the first job or the second job? And she just motions to both coins. She stands up. And she kind of turns and goes, I need a coffee. I'll be back in about 5 minutes. Whichever one of these coins isn't there, I'll know you took that job. She gets up, walks around her desk, looking at all of you as she passes, and leaves. You hear her footsteps thud on the floor of the next room before they become quiet, and you hear the second door, the door of the outer office, close with a bang. You're now sitting in Jax's office with the choice of either of these 2 jobs in front of you. No idea which either entails. They'll be back in about 5 minutes.
And
So-
Krog, hoing his nipples, just swirl in the chair around to where he heard the footsteps last. See if Jax is like, man, I was really excited about job number 1, which is exactly these details, and job number 2, which is exactly these details.
As you kind of like point, you hear the footsteps, and she doesn't do that.
Shit.
um, she
Fucking rats.
appears to be on her way to get a coffee.
So what's it going to be? Clubbing seals or bombing orphanages? What's your sister got us doing?
Well, if we have to pick one,
Probably
think-
the bomb, right?
yeah.
Yeah, the
I
orphanage
think
for
GB's
sure.
still gonna be sitting in silence. Like she's gonna like listen to everyone but not really interact with what they're saying. And can I look
What?
around the room and see if there's anything familial around? Like is there like bookshelves or anything like
Pictures.
photo, like anything familiar that
Pretty
like sentimental at all?
pretty immediately, behind her head, above the desk, kind of as if it looks out over the entire room, is the Boulevard family crest, which also kind of doubles as the family's like logo, like the business logo. The Boulevard family business works is sort of like a corporation where there are many different businesses under the same umbrella. There are restaurants, there are warehouses, there are factories, there are clubs, bars, there are like public use facilities, like theaters, all that kind of thing, all under like the Boulevard Holdings kind of business.
This is all for show, isn't it? Anyway, it doesn't matter what one we pick because we don't know which is which. Which means that whatever one we pick is the one she wants us to go do. It's a question of do we take the coin or not.
Valuable are the coins on the table.
How valuable?
Yeah, like what value coins?
They're both single gold pieces.
Oh shit, take them both.
Shit, that's 2 gold.
Lilith is broke, okay?
Whatever number
can-
we pick is the number she wants us to pick. That's how it
Can
works when you're
Kronk
this kind of.
pick up the cat and set it on his lap and start petting the cat.
Yeah. It seems to be a very fat older cat that's kind of chunky and a bit lazy. And as you like lift it up, you see its eyes kind of blink open and it goes and it goes back to sleep in your lap.
Do not worry, I'm not here to
And
hurt you. I love you.
It does enter loaf mode as you like lie it down on your lap and just goes. It just turns into like a puddle of fur on your lap.
Very good. Excellent.
Um,
Is there a hidden trap door under the cat, any button or anything?
no.
Is what Jax was looking at still up on her computer? Did she close it?
You can walk around the desk and see if you want to.
I would love to.
Okay. As you walk around the
Is
desk,
Jax PCI compliant? We have to know.
as you walk around the desk, what she was looking at on the computer is still there.
Can I
It
look
is-
at it?
Yeah,
It's
it is.
porn, dude. It is.
It's Microsoft Paint, and she's just clicked around with the paint bucket.
It is
Minesweeper, and
a
she lost.
detailed
Damn it, I need a
intelligence.
coffee.
It's
Oh, okay.
It's a detailed intelligence report on Geraldine and everything that's happened within the past month or so. And as you scan over it, you see that for the most part, the cover story that True Arms has given you guys seems to be being put out there as the truth. That due to the explosion of the temple, you guys were all expelled.
There's nothing about secret information that we had learned of or anything, because that was like
No.
the original thing that we were going to use as the expulsion.
There's nothing there about that.
It's the public story, isn't it? Like
That
Yeah.
the press release or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is the public story that's here. As you can look through it, it does list each of you by name. The only one it doesn't list would be Kyler's pseudonym. Because I don't think, as far as I remember, Kyler didn't agree on using a fake name.
No.
No, so it lists Kronk, it lists Lilith, it lists Dracos, it lists Geraldine, and it lists Kyler Crestwave, who miraculously is not here.
Kyler's banking on the fact that she's a little bit, face blind with so many Aquans working here, so many Tritons that they all kind of look the same to her.
Oh, you're banking on her being racist. Good to know.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, she's a raging capitalist who,
They
has
do
an
kind of go hand in hand.
unrelenting family issues.
Yeah.
Is
If you
there
ask me to
anything
draw
else?
a racist.
They'd be a white lesbian?
Is
They'd be white.
Go ahead, Alaska.
is there anything else up on her computer at all? Any like tabs or anything? Do I feel
No.
like I can get away with clicking on stuff without her knowing?
I don't know. Do you feel like you can get away with clicking on stuff?
No, so I don't want to. But I want to know what her history tab looks like. Incognito mode. What are you looking at?
Okay.
The point of income. Oh, never mind.
Do you sit down on her chair?
No, I'm not sitting in her chair.
Okay, not a problem.
She does squat, though. It's really impressive.
Okay.
Just a thought.
Yeah, uh-huh.
What if this is a test? What if she wants us to take both jobs? Is that something Jax would maybe do?
I think Geraldine's going to look up at the crest above, I guess, where Lilith is kneeling on the, like, looking at the computer. Pretty wistful and emotional about kind of what she's volunteering everyone for. And Geraldine's going to reach for the second coin and just say, it doesn't matter. There's only one
Kronk's-
job.
Kronk stops Geraldine and picks up the coin himself and looks it over and then sets it in Geraldine's hand.
Okay.
Yeah, while I get like Geraldine and then Kronk reaches, can I do detect good and evil on the room?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Y'all hear
what
that
do I have?
sound?
No.
What sound?
Don't you what sound me, mucks.
I have detected good and evil.
The cat is evil. True chaotic
evil.
evil.
The cat is chaotic evil. Is that all?
Yeah. That's all.
Like, actually, that's really funny.
Yeah. The cat's an absolute bastard cat, but right now it's too old and fat and lazy to actually act on these evil incarnate thoughts.
If it lights up the whole room, how do
Yeah, well, how is Silver Whisper not lighting up?
A silver whisper is an object that is
Yeah.
ambivalent of good and or evil. The spirit that inhabits Silver Whisper is not something
Is it
that
behind
Kyler
cover?
can see.
Are you saying it's behind cover? It's in the gun. Is that like Is that the? Okay. Like, yeah. Fair enough.
we all show up as?
Those of you who have good alignments show up with good. Those of you who have neutral alignments do not show up. And Lilith has a faint red aura.
Yeah. Kyler can smell evil. That's a paladin feature.
Does
That-
it
that
smell
is a-
good?
No, it smells fucking like odorous, like rotting corpses.
Smells
you
like
so much.
15-layer cheese dip and beard dye.
Okay, well. Lilith is wearing a lot of perfume right now, so.
Who would win, the fucking scent of evil or Chanel Divinity number 5?
Yeah. It's actually Chanel Tender, so.
If it's from Chanel, it is the scent of evil.
Yeah,
That's true. Smells like
Here.
collaboration.
Chanel for girls, Hugo Boss for
I wear
boys.
Chanel!
Chanel, Coco Chanel was a Nazi.
Well, smells good to me, so.
Someone's gonna
No,
clip
no.
that horrifically out of context. I'm just warning you guys
boy.
now.
Yeah, the coins aren't
Big
like
V's gonna have a field day with that one.
horrifically cursed, are they?
Nazis?
The
no,
coins.
the coins are
Oh.
not horrifically
They're not
cursed.
unhallowed or hallowed.
Well, something
or, like,
went.
horrifically cursed.
They are perfectly normal coins.
Okay.
Or-
Did I? Okay, so I heard something happen when that fucking coin happened. Did Kronk hear it?
Well, Kronk is currently holding the coin, isn't he?
Yeah, he picked it up and like gave it a once over.
And put it in GB's hand.
Did
Yeah,
Kronk
and
hear
then-
something?
I heard that you played a sound effect, motherfucker. I don't know if Kronk heard it.
Did GB hear something?
I don't know how to play
With a
this
passive
right now.
perception of 17.
GB did hear something as the coin was lifted.
Was it the
Does
sound
she
of the
know
coin
what the
against
sound-
pillow?
Yeah, does she know what it was?
I knew it. I knew I heard something.
GB heard the sound of metal sliding against metal, or almost like a grate or like an eye hole opening and or closing.
Interesting. So
Chibi's just gonna sit there with the coin in her hand, and
Takes it out of Kronk's hand and holds it.
well, I thought Kronk like
Oh
dropped
yeah,
it in
Kronk
her
gives
hand.
it.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
because
okay.
the whole it's just the bodyguard thing. Make sure nothing like if it had an exploding rune on it or whatever. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Kronk's standing there. Kronk counts as full cover.
Yeah, so she's just gonna silently sit there and hope that everyone's just going to keep minding their own business as much as humanly possible.
Okay. Maybe 2 minutes later, Jax walks back in with a cup of coffee and just a
And a big black eye right around.
a perfectly circular eye hole sized mark around her eye. It was like a Scooby Doo villain. She was looking at you through the family crest.
Like the eye extends and goes like a Freddy fish or something.
um, as she comes back in, she's carrying her mug of coffee, which I can only describe as, and this one might not be a very knowledgeable thing, a Gilmore Girls Luke's Diner sized cup of coffee where it's more of a soup bowl than it is a cup of coffee. But it is like entirely black with the Boulevard family crest on it. And she sets it down specifically so the family crest is facing you, Geraldine.
How does she take her coffee? Black, no sugar?
It is.
Coffee.
You can tell that it is a very dark mix, but there is a slight bit of milk.
Oh, that cursed bit of milk where it's like there's actually no point in putting the milk in it at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she has no soul.
Now that she's
Y'all
back,
are really
can I
ragging on
detect-
Alaska this one.
Can I detect good and evil again? No, she's in here.
That mix of coffee is pure evil.
There is no change to the situation previously.
Yeah, but like with respect to Jax being in
Yeah.
the room is okay.
There is no change. Jax appears to have a null outline indicating that she is neutral.
Cass, just as a point of order, if you had tried to read Drazian at any point, you like don't read anything coming off of him.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you physically can't read his alignment right now.
Roger.
You look at him and it's just
If you look at Kronk, if you look at Kronk and try to read Kronk, his dick actually has a different alignment than he does, and you can see it through the outline of his pants.
Your deck takes you to places you wouldn't go even with a gun.
Stealing my lines! God.
Stop stealing them from Twitter then.
I couldn't even if I wanted to.
What was I gonna say? Yeah, I think is it like a case of there is no information or there's a barrier?
on Drazian?
On Drazian,
Yeah, is
there's
it
a
like
barrier. There's
No, there's no information. There's a
There's no
barrier.
information.
A barrier gives away this
Yeah.
person's using an item, whereas if it's just like they seem neutral,
Yeah,
is
morally
just-
mediocre.
no
yeah, okay.
Drazian's using an item. Like
Yeah, I know.
it's the
But
it's the
does
item we
does Kyler know that is the question? It's like,
No.
is it like I'm hitting a wall or I'm just getting nothing back?
you're
Those are kind
getting
of two
you're
different
getting nothing
phenomenons.
back
Mhm.
because in terms of spycraft, it is more important to seem like there is nothing there
Yeah.
rather than show that there is something stopping it.
Mhm.
Because that
Roger.
so it's that kind of thing. It's like it hide it doesn't. It's not like he looks at you and it's like missing no from Pokemon, just a bunch of pixels. It's more that just you appear neutral so that he cannot tell which way you align. Is kind of how that works.
And that's not the whole purpose of the item, but just so you
Yeah.
know that that's there.
Cool.
So, as Jax comes back in, sets down the cup of coffee, leans back. She adjusts the chair before she sits down, and she looks back at the computer and looks at the mouse and notices that it has been moved. Doesn't care. And just looks at both coins, notices that the second one is missing, and just goes, I see. I'm glad to see that you didn't try to take some pious crusade of making uninformed choices. Because when it comes to things like this, you generally should trust the person with the larger mind and better plan. The second job, then. And she stands up, leaving the coffee on the table, walks around the group to a set of like filing cabinets, unlocks one of the drawers and pulls them out, rifles through, and lifts out looks like a case file, like a folder. Walks back to her desk and sets it down. There are some people who owe me some money on some outstanding invoices. I don't care that I get my money back. What I do care about is that they are leaving an indent on my impeccable reputation. And I can't have people thinking that it's okay not to pay me. So, however you decide to go about this, whether you go there and you take back the items that I had delivered, whether you rough them up a bit, or simply whether you make sure that they know that if they don't pay me, this won't be the last time they see you. I need you to go and make sure that they're not damaging how people see me too badly. I'm not going to ask you to do anything illegal. But however you decide to handle this is up to you. You are, after all, outside contracted work.
Is it requirement for them to be breathing afterwards?
Preferable.
Noted.
Geraldine's gonna kind of hold out her hand to see if Jax will give her this file folder so she
Yeah.
can read more details.
She like slides it across the desk so it's closer to you, but she doesn't hand it directly to you.
Okay.
And Kronk.
Geraldine's gonna grab the
Pass it.
folder
Oh, all right.
and so if Geraldine's sitting in the seat right across from Jax, where are people around the room? Kronk's got a cat.
So Kronk is like behind you, holding the cat like a Bond villain, holding the cat in one arm and like stroking the
Kronk-
cat with the other.
Kronk did like go to stand up a little bit
Mm.
before Geraldine just straight up just said, "No, I like fuck you," you know.
Kyler, yeah,
Wasn't a
So
fuck
I don't
you.
know if the cat shifted or whatever, but you know.
Kyler is leaning on the wall closest to the door, so as in to take in the whole room when casting Divine Sense. Sorry, to take good and evil.
Yeah.
that.
GB's gonna open the folder. Does she?
Okay.
What does she see? Or like, if she's like scanning the page while Jax is talking, like what stands out?
It seems to be the first two pages that you see are invoices, showing that they are not payment hasn't been finished, but somehow before payment was finished, the item was delivered. Whether this was a processing error, whether this was an admin error, it doesn't note that, but it shows that the item was delivered, but payment was not finished. It shows the date, and it shows that this was a little bit back now, maybe 2 to 3 weeks. And the fact that it hasn't been paid to this point is where it's now becoming like people are going around saying that or like if you get this place to do your delivery, you don't have to pay them full price. Jax is beginning to pick up words of people kind of saying that they have, oh, I got cheaper delivery because I didn't pay them, I scammed them, that kind of thing, and Jax cannot
Gotcha.
have that.
Does it list what the item the deliverables were?
One lists as number of trinket chests, just like a collection of different storage chests. And when it says contents, it just says valuables. And then like in this little small note, item index available at delivery. So there seemed to have been like a list of everything that was in the chest upon receiving it and everything that was in the chest upon delivering it.
Yeah.
But it will be with the recipient.
Gotcha.
And the other seems to be just the delivery of some sort of kind of like decorative pieces of armor and weapons. Stuff that like you see the index. There's like a steel sword, a suit of armor, but purely based off of the price that it is cost to ship each of these things. The insurance that is like put on these is way too high for it just to be like a regular sword or a regular suit of armor. They must be decorative or historical or heirlooms or something, because the amount of surplus charge that is on this is ridiculous.
Is Kronk like reading over Geraldine's shoulder, or is that not an angle that's working?
Is Geraldine trying to be secretive about it, or she's just like folding it open and like reading it openly?
I was sort of thinking like she just kind of has it like open in her lap, like leafing through it, like scanning a page, going through the packet, and
Yeah, Kronk
like
would be
seeing
able to
what's
kind of
there.
like see it over her shoulder.
Yeah.
Can Kronk say, do you have an index of the goods in the in that chest? If we end up doing a repossession job, it would not benefit us not to have the index when we showed up to the door.
Well, as you can see on one of the pages, we do have an index. When it came to the other one, the recipient was much more protective of the knowledge of what was in the storage chests. As such, we took an index upon receiving the items, but the only proof of that index was then left with the individual who we delivered to. Now, we do make our item indexes on some very special paper that is very difficult to destroy, so that people can't fake one or destroy it and say that we never provided them with an index. So unless they have some form of annihilation magic, I can assure you that that item index will be within their personal belongings.
Phoebe's gonna nod and close the folder. Or while she was looking at it, did it say like was on the invoice were there addresses to see if it was like local
Yes.
or is it within?
They're both in New Lynette.
Do I recognize like who we were delivering to? Like the names of them?
The names of the individuals?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
What are they anyway?
The first one that comes up is cast only. Like CATE. CAS. Sorry, TE. Like cast.
Okay. It's like, wait.
That's Kate.
Yeah.
And then ONLI.
Okay.
That is not a cast only joke.
Yeah,
That is
that's what I thought.
just the
It's
name.
like Yeah. What's the other one?
Monri, which is Monri, and Veltior, Veltiror.
Okay.
So GB's gonna close the folder. Yeah. So they're local. Do you have a time frame in mind?
I think that anything really is necessary. There's no. As you say, they are local. It shouldn't take you too long. And of course, if a month passes by and you don't come back to me, then one of two things has happened. You've sat here and lied to me, or you've made off with my money. Neither of which end up very good for you. So, no time frame. Get it sorted when you can. I'll be here. And she sits back and for the first time takes a sip of her coffee, sets it down, and then turns and looks and goes, I think I've said all I need to say. Unless there's a reason that you continue to be here.
I have one more question. What is the cat's name?
A cat? And she kind of like looks at you, not realizing that you're talking about the cat in her hand, like that you're holding. And she
And
thinks you're talking
Kronk
about somebody
lifts-
on the page.
Cat lifts. Kronk lifts up the cat in his lap and says, "The cat, the animal in the room with us, the cat."
Is the animal in the room with us right now?
Kylo sneezes again. For real this time. Because it's evil. So
Yeah.
the powerful stench overwhelms Kag. Gah! Gah!
That's Totake.
Okay.
Would Geraldine recognize this as Jax's pet?
Oh yeah. He did not look like this the last time you saw him, but this is
Okay,
Jax's pet.
Geraldine's gonna sort of like look a little and look back at the cat and go, "Really?"
I tried to get someone to look after him for a while, and they just ended up overfeeding him. He's on a diet, but it takes a while.
Geraldine's gonna nod and stand up and
As you like stand up and turn around, and Totake is like in your face. It's
hatred.
it is the look of hatred in Totake's eyes. But it's weird because it's just the eyes. The rest of the face is completely apathetic because Totake is just too chunky and old
Can't
to give a
care.
just
Cannot care. Yeah, JB's just gonna sort of like look at him and walk out the door, and like as she's at like the doorway, like turns
You
around
just
to Jax.
out of sight of Jackson, you just give Totake
And yeah,
the
we're
finger.
just says to Jax, shouldn't take more than a couple days at most.
Yeah, doesn't answer you, just kind of nods her head and turns back to her computer, takes a sip of her coffee and starts typing. Kind of very much giving all of you the hint.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Clear out.
Yeah.
GB
Yeah,
is
Kylo's out quick as well.
While setting down the cat, Kronk kind of thinks to the rest of the party, is there any chance we'd want to blow this place to smithereens at any point?
You're currently still in the room, aren't you?
Yeah, but I'm thinking through the...
Yeah. Nobody else hears anything as you're in the room.
Alright, I'll take that as a no. Kronk finishes setting down the cat, gives Tatake one or two more pets, and heads out the
Okay.
door.
Tatake does a very slow swipe at your hand, and your hand's already gone by the time Tatake is swiping at where your hand was.
Your hand's
I don't
gone.
think Tatake is going to hit my AC, but it was a good try, bud.
Your hand's actually gone. He bit it off.
Just go for
Tatake,
it.
Tatake is actually just an orb of annihilation. You touch him and you die.
Mr. Bigglesworth.
Oh shit, it's the loaf of annihilation.
Oh no, he's entering loaf form.
Oh lord, he coming.
How
Yes.
is our progress out of the compound then? Are we inhibited in any way? Are we showing out? What goes on there?
You're inhibited in no way, shape, or form. As you leave across the security line again, there's no issue. There doesn't seem to be an issue with leaving the security zone. It is entering it once more that you have been told. Oh, the security defenses will activate. As you guys
Kronk-
leave,
Kronk
go ahead.
thinks again, right after crossing the line. Kronk thinks, is it worth it to just try to step over once and see what happens?
Nope.
Yeah, you
Oh,
guys
well.
hear it this time. It's also it's important to note you guys could hear each other fine in the secretary room of the office.
Mm-hmm.
You could not communicate telepathically within Jax's room in the office, within like Jax's office proper.
Interesting.
Yeah, GB's out the door, like out of the entire building.
Fuck!
So
sorry.
we're-
I just realized I should have named the cat Baxter. Jackson Baxter.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, so GB's just straight out the door, out of the large kind of garage door opening, that is the entrance to the warehouse, and is just out into the streets of New Lynette, the port harbor of New Lynette.
Yeah,
hey,
and-
Geraldine.
Folder in the bag of holding, not public.
Okay, not a problem.
Hey, Geraldine, are you doing all right?
Geraldine's just gonna sort of look up at Kronk, barely holding it in.
Say that,
Oh.
or like just show that.
Show that. Just
Okay. Kronk, you can see tears like
like welling up, but
yeah.
there were no signs of it while we were like inside. Like maybe a little bit of like fidgeting, but
Do you want me? Hey, do you want me to blow her up? I could blow her up if you wanted.
if I thought that would do any good, I would.
Geraldine, do you want me to blow up your sister? Geraldine. Let me get a smile. Let me get a smile, Geraldine. You want me to blow up your sister?
As Kronk is saying this, y'all hear a voice behind you. It's this gruff voice with a slight jovial kind of attitude to it. But the only one that recognizes it is Kronk. And Kronk, you hear a, "Well, scratch my eyes out. Is that who I think it is? Kronk the Relentless?" Do you guys turn around?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Kronk, you turn around and you see somebody who you have not seen for maybe 2 to 3 years now. This is one of the guys that was like an older person, an older fighter on the circuit whenever you were doing your touring, before you like got stuck into, right, I really want to expand what I'm doing. For the rest of you, it's kind of surreal as you turn around and see a giant walking humanoid plant. Thorns and vines covering and adorning his shoulders and his arms, and most importantly, each of his knuckles. He is dressed in this ragged and ripped kind of leather outfit that looks like it is designed more for its durability than its comfort and or style. His head is similar to just, kind of the like bulbous cactuses is what his head is. And he's looking at Kronk with one missing eye. As he kind of looks at you and he goes, I'd give my other eye, if I had it, to say that it was, you big rock bastard. And as he kind of walks over, he just immediately goes, like, with thorns and vines, and there's, like, instead of, like, body hair, he has moss. And he just goes up and he hugs Kronk, and Kronk, you feel the arms wrap around you and squeeze you in this tight, spiny, spiky hug.
What is so? What I recognize this guy.
Yeah, this is Buskery.
Buskery.
Buskery was one of the older kind of known in his generation as blood fighters, people who did not stop until somebody was knocked out. There was no tap out, there was no giving up, there was no we don't think it's safe to do this anymore. In a blood fight, until that person was bleeding out on the ground and you had to call in a cleric, the fight did not stop, no matter how broken or beaten anybody was. And you can see he is missing an eye. Some of his spines are broke. You can see especially on the ones on his knuckles, there's like generational layers where you can see the spine, like the thorn has broken and regrown again because it's a slightly darker shade, where it is older, and it's a paler shade where it's newer. So it almost kind of looks like almost like a rainbow display on his thorns on his knuckles. And as he steps back, apparent to everyone is the stench that immediately comes off of him. There is just the smell of rotting, like a rotten swamp, a peat bog, just that. There is sulfur, there is that kind of... The only way I can describe it is, you ever walked into someone's house and they have a dead plant and they haven't done anything about it?
Mm-hmm.
Or like dying flowers, and like dying flowers in a vase and they haven't moved
dying
them.
flowers have, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is that. That is the stench that he has, but times that by like 10. It is putrid as he approaches. And as he steps back, he looks at you, Kronk, and he goes, "Now what's got you coming down to Newlyn it then?
That
I
can't
thought
be
you were
my
supposed to be
boy.
going to the fancy college over in Aguilane."
That can't be my boy Buskery, can it? No. There's
know
no
I-
way.
I know I look a lot older and a lot more beaten up than last you saw me, but I can still throw a punch.
What? No way. Throw a punch. Throw a punch. I dare you. I dare you.
He throws a punch at you, and to any of you who are not trained in fighting, or like unarmed fighting, this looks like a really strong, swift punch. Kronk, as it hits you, you feel the thorns on his knuckles like bend as they hit you. They're soft, almost, and there's nowhere near as much force as what you remember. And you can kind of see he winces as he hits you, rather than the other way around.
Oh, Buskery's been a bit since you fought a Goliath, isn't it?
It's been a bit since we fought anyone. Not many people are looking for fighters like me nowadays. It's been rough.
You look. Well, I'd say you look great, but you look a little bit rough. I'll be honest with you, Buskery. I was going to the fancy college, but I accidentally blew something up. So now I'm just here being a bodyguard. But it's so wonderful to see you. How did you get into the condition? Were you just doing more and more blood fights?
I was, and I was making good coin, as you know. And then people started thinking that it was a bit too violent. That not everybody wanted to go to a match where somebody was definitely going to die. And, you know, when that's your reputation, and everything you've done has been towards making sure that you're the last one standing, it's hard to adapt.
Yeah, it's like if they just took away a part of a theater. It's like if they went and they took away all the sad stuff in the theater. Like nobody really wants to go watch a sad stuff, right? But it's there because it's a part of the art form and it's a pleasure to consume at the right time.
You can see he kind of goes, I suppose it is. I never thought of it as an art form. I thought of it as a way to live, but that's just the way different ones are. And you can see he kind of scratches like the side of his face, and like layers of his plant like skin peel away to reveal like kind of like soft undermush like that would be beneath. You know the way cactuses have like a couple of layers and then it's the mush.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of the layers like peel away as he's like scratching at his face.
What are you? Buskry, was it? What are you doing here?
He turns to you and he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize. Kronk, are these?
Oh yeah.
Are you
Oh,
teaching now?
I'm
Are these
so
your proteges?"
well, kinda. I mean, I could teach them to fight if they wanted to, but mostly I just hang out with them. These are my friends right now. This is the person who I'm bodyguarding right now. This is Geraldine. She's quite important, but she's also a very nice young lady. There is Lilith, who is scary, but sticks around. There is Jeans over here who wears jeans and is very watery. And here's here's Big D over here, who likes dragons a lot.
I
And then
see.
there's me, Kronk. Hello.
I'm. You can see the one eye that he has starts to water up, but it's kind of like a slightly like sickly green water because of the chlorophyll in his body. I'm proud of you, Kronk. I always thought you were one of the smarter ones on the circuit. I'm glad to
See,
see
people
you
always taught
thriving.
me that. Thank you.
I'm glad to see you out there living, my boy. I'm too old now to be doing any of that. Most of the friends I had. And he kind of like looks off into the distance. As if like he's like reminiscing, and then he goes, most of them I killed.
Yeah, it's kind of the
That's
issue with
part of the
the
job, isn't it?
yeah, kind of the issue with blood fight. I beat up a lot of my friends when I was running circuits too. They're kind of just the way of the world, unfortunately. At least our world, you know. Is there
Yeah.
anything I can do for you? It's wonderful to see you again. I owe you at least a dozen favors. Is there anything I can do for you? Want to hang out?
I was coming down here to the Boulevard warehouse to, well, see if they had any jobs going. I, I've been trying now for a while to get something that weren't fighting, but when everything you've built is based off of your strength and your ability to make sure that you make everything you touch bleed, apparently not many restaurants want that, nor do many clubs, nor do really any shops, nor do part-time daycare work. It's,
Why
Yeah,
don't?
I could.
it's tough.
What about the Adventurers Guild? I mean, is that not something you thought about?
I thought about it, and then I realised that there's a certain level of reputation that you have to kind of uphold as an adventurer. I do have my card, and I've got my ranking. But when people
Kyler,
see me, they don't exactly want me to take the jobs.
Kyler resists the urge to be like, "Can I see it? Can I see it?" Do you
Is it is it
I need
just
to
a
open my eye.
Yeah.
is it just a personal appearance thing, or is it just because you've been a blood fighter?
Surprisingly, most people don't want fighters to be the adventurers that they call on for help. They found out that I killed people for a living, and after explaining to them, no, I'm not a hitman, I didn't kill people for money. Well, I did do it for money, but it's not that it was never a fair fight. It was always a fair fight that I killed them for money. Most people stop after the part where I say I killed them for money.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah, I
hard,
understand
yeah.
that.
Do you
Well,
Go ahead, Kronk.
all right. Well, look, I'll be honest with you. I could probably get you in if I asked real nice, because I have, I'm a friend with the Butterfly family, but um, I feel like it's kind of a crappy job. Like I don't know that they would treat you very well. I feel like it'd run the rest of your vines dry. But I know you've got a lot of fighting experience, yeah. Um, there is a place down by the old adventuring academy I went to. It's called Zwan's Gauntlet, and the nice fellow Zwan there is trying to start something up with some old fighters. That's not going to be about killing or hurting each other. It's going to be more about theater and about swinging and creating stories and telling stories about each other, creating characters. I think you've got a history for great character work, and I think you could do it if that's something you wanted to do. It's not as if you're not a veteran in the activity. It would mean you couldn't kill people if that's all right with you. It seems like you've already crossed that path in your life.
You can see he stops for a second, and he had resigned himself to not fighting for a living anymore, and hearing that there's a place where he could maybe still do that is giving him kind of that paralysis, like choice paralysis. Why when they take someone like me?
I do think so. Look, I think if they only stick with people who look like me and young spry fighters, then they're not going to have much of a go of it. They need people of all different varieties. They need different genders. They need different races. They need different ages all over the place so they can create good stories. Imagine you, as someone who is rugged and has been through the ring, coming up against me, who's just in their prime, and you somehow pull up a victory against me. You put me in a submission hold with one of your vines after I had made fun of you for being flimsy when I'm made of a rock, and I have to tap out to one of your vines. It would be an excellent story told for the ages, and you would be the one on top, and nobody would be hurt, and everyone would be entertained.
He looks confused, and you can see he like talks himself through it, and he goes, "A fight where the outcome is decided, but it's more about the story and the show than the winner."
Like a
Yeah,
play,
that's
right?
right.
Is that what you're describing? Like a play?
Yeah, essentially, it's like a play, except there's like a lot more hitting, right?
It's like sports entertainment.
Yeah, yeah, I would maybe put it that way. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. It sometimes, like, if I walked up to somebody and said sports entertainment, I feel like they'd say, "What is that?" I feel like it is a combination of sports and entertainment. Now that I think about it,
And you say that you've got this place surrounding the Aggo Lane.
yeah, yeah, in Aggo Lane, and I tell you what, here, and I kind of like step to the side a little bit, kind of lower my voice. I'm like, "All right, Buscree, how you doing on money, friend?"
I was looking for a job in a Boulevard warehouse. What do you think?
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. I just recently came into a little bit of a settlement from this whole thing. I want to give you a little bit of it that should hold you over for a while, just so you can get on your feet, maybe get a place, get to Aguilane, talk to Zwan, tell them that Kronk the Relentless sent you, and kind of get you to where you need to go. All right.
Crunk, how could I ever repay you? Is there anything you need while you're here? 'Cause I don't have many contacts, but I've got a couple.
If I need it, I'll let you know.
I
Again, I'm
don't have
just
a
doing a
phone. I don't
bodyguard.
have a pixie.
You don't have a phone. All right.
No.
Well, all right. That's probably step one. We'll get you. I'm gonna write down my number here. Yeah. And then I'm gonna give it to you, and I'm gonna give you this as well. And I reach into my pocket and I give him 100 platinum pieces off of the like the
1,000
settlement
gold.
that we
Yeah.
got. Yeah. I said, okay, so this is a bit, right? And it should cover a lot of what you're gonna need to get places. That's a lot, right? That's a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
For an
yeah.
average person, yeah.
Yeah.
That'll
All
get
right, so
him a
this
pixie and being able to fucking go and like get transport back to Aguilane as well.
yeah. All right, so that should be able to get you started, get you the pixie that you need. I'll know the nice store workers there will help you try to get this set up and get my number in there for you. And I'll message you if there's anything that I need from you in New Lynette. Um, uh, and and I hope to see you at some point as Swans if I end up making it over there. Hopefully I can stop on back. I'm not banned from the entire area. I just can't go back to the academy right now.
I can't do anything right now to thank you quite as much, Crunk, as I need to. You can see he's like choking on his words. I have a favor. I haven't called in yet. If you need anything while you're here and you can't get it done, you go to the quarter path and you say that you need to talk to the sons of Adam. Someone will be there to help you and they will be able to do whatever you need, my son. I'm so proud of you. And he like leans in and he hugs you, and you again feel that a lot of the vines and spikes that kind of cover his body are slightly softer and mushier than what they would have been in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
And he like pulls away from you and he reaches one hand up and like wipes away the kind of chlorophyll filled tears and wipes them away. And he just looks at you with like a really big amount of pride. And he goes, I guess I'm gonna go see if I can get a job as a sports entertainer.
All right, now you make sure you tell Swan I sent you, because otherwise he's going to be real confused if you just show
I
up
will.
there.
I will.
Because I don't think we've established the whole thing yet, so just yeah, you got to let him know, all right?
I will. And he turns and he like shuffles maybe like 30 or 40 steps away, and then he turns back and he goes, you pro OJs are lucky to have a man like him as your teacher. And as your friend. And he turns away and he just keeps shuffling up the street until he's out of sight.
Yes, you're a wonderful mentor, Kronk. Thanks, bro.
I forgot your name, Kyler. Sorry.
It's okay, man. I don't feel like Kyler Crossgrave right now.
Do you feel like jeans, blue pants? They call you
That's-
jeans.
Jeans is fine.
Yay!
I mean, what is it? We're fucking money collectors now, like the same people that killed Jesus Crustacean. Like that's what we're doing. And like, I'm gonna be honest. This seems like a horrible like approach to things.
I think we should go to the Adventurers Guild and see if we can find Pseudo.
I think we should get out of the Boulevard family drama. It's clearly not doing Geraldine any favors.
Well, we're here for a reason. We were sent here. If you don't want to be here, then you can go.
I'm sorry, when have you listened to reasons from authority before?
I'm just saying. There's
You
a
think the
point for
teachers
to
told
be
us so
here.
we should do it? Who are you?
No, I think that there's a point for us to be here, and I don't see us getting back into the academy unless we do this.
There's plenty of ways to skin a catfish.
Okay, well, I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty. If you want to go skin a catfish, you can go find a catfish to skin, Kyler.
That is a very hand dirtying exercise, actually.
How do
There-
you skin a catfish? But that
you
would be
take the
difficult,
scales
right?
off it. You kill it and
But
take the
that-
scales off it.
But so skins are scales? Is that kind of the equivalency?
Yes, my skin is less. Look, I mean,
Here's what I think.
Geraldine's.
I think
Geraldine
sometimes
doesn't-
it's important to put your morals aside for your friends.
What?
I
And
think
on that,
sometimes.
on that what, and on the 2 hour mark, we're going to take a break. With Kyler going, what? We're going to take a break for 5-10 minutes, get water, take meds, get food, do whatever you need to do.
Kyler
We will be
Kronk beef,
gone.
let's go.
If you need to decompress, feel free to decompress for the next 10-15 minutes. We will see you all back here at 10 past whatever your time zone is. So
Cool.
Right, we'll see you in a bit.
What?
I said that sometimes, for your friends, you need to put your morals aside.
There's very little I'm willing to put my morals aside on, Kronk.
What
You see,
about what? What? Okay, go ahead.
you see, my powers come from the promise that I've made to my God and myself. To not do so could mean, oh, we're fighting someone, and then I can't, close your wounds with my hands or hit people with the power of the sun from the end of Trina.
All right. No, I understand that. Right?
I never go
But
back on my word, Kronk, which is why I don't give my name to these absolutely horrific people.
right, and they're bad people. But what you did give your word to was to help Geraldine to the best of your ability.
And to the best of my
That's it.
ability, I don't think this is proving fruitful. I think we're getting in deep with some bad people. Again.
But we already had kind of done this before, haven't we?
And
And
do you
it
remember what
turned
we
out
said
all
then?
right.
I don't. I don't remember what we said then. I remember I ended up listening to
After
you.
everything with Professor Truearm. Sir Truearm. Listen, man, all you believe in and all you do is all you really are.
Well, if we're not allowed to make deals with bad guys, and the people that we thought were good guys are bad guys, then who do we have except for our friends? And if we can't hold, if we can't do anything we can to protect our friends, then what are we doing?
Do you Kronk, do you think that this is protect like look at her? I think that people who we did have some trust in, who I spent my whole life wanting to go to this school, which I'm now kicked out of for the moment, so they could exploit the relationship that Geraldine has with her family. We need to intercept a shipment. There's more than one way to do that, and I don't think this is helpful anymore.
Exploiting or not is something that Geraldine agreed to, and I won't have anything that Geraldine. I will back up Geraldine until the end of the earth, as long as it's something she still agrees to. It's going to have to be Geraldine's call.
Is this working, Geraldine? Because you don't seem like the person we know.
I don't know.
It's like when we met you and you were, rough around the edges and cold and had walls up, and you, even down to, your magic was different. And now that you're back here, it feels like their influence is in you again. And I can't imagine that's good for you if you hate it so much. If our mission objective is to sink a shipment, we can do that without you having to re-traumatize yourself.
I think we hit up the Adventurers Guild, try and find Pseudo, see what information we can get if we keep our ear to the ground.
Geraldine, if you want to keep doing it this way, but you can't come along, that's all right. We can handle this for you. We love you and we trust you. If I have to do it myself, I'll go scour a couple people myself and get some money and do this thing for Jax. It's fine. This
Can
is up to
I-
you, and we want to take everything off you can.
Can I ask, without saying what she says, when the group turns to Geraldine in the middle of this, what do they see before she says anything? Because you said yourself, Geraldine had been barely able to hold it in. Is she
Yeah.
still composing that, or seeing her friends fight over this? Has that broken? Like, what do they see when they look
It's,
at Geraldine?
I think her saying that she doesn't know if it's working or not is when she starts to break a little bit.
Hmm.
And the fact that she's never had people who would actually do what Kronk said that he would be willing to do for her.
Mhm.
And I think she just doesn't know what to say. So saying she doesn't know if it's working or not. And I think she is intentionally sort of going back to her old ways because that's how she knows how to fit in there. Yeah. So, yeah, she's definitely breaking down a little bit, but not able to say much.
And as the three of you, as the boys, start to kind of raise their voices at each other, and
I'm not raising my voice, to be clear.
no, yeah,
I'm trying to like keep the situation calm and come up with a suggestion that takes us out of this, because Drazian doesn't feel that this is being productive right now.
well, as this is kind of not necessarily becoming heated, but as the rift is kind of happening, you all turn and you see Geraldine in this state. You see her at the edge of whatever this is, barely holding on, her body shaking, her hands. You can see like there is a slight bit of blood running down her palm from where she is gripping her hand in a fist so tight, and like everything going on that there's a single drop of blood that is running down her fingers and dropping onto the floor as the two of you shout at each other, and you turn and see her.
Come here. Geraldine, come here. And Cal's gonna hold out hands. And can I use a point of lay on hands?
You want to?
I'll do that. To stem the bleeding. It's not going to be more than a point of damage, is it? No.
No, the bleeding itself stops, but there is still the remnants of the trickles of blood that rest on the tops of her knuckles.
I would go to the ends of the earth too. But I can't not tell you when I see you hurting yourself. I'm not a follower like that, you know?
If you guys don't want to come, I understand.
Do you think this is working? Do you think Jax has any weakness we're liable to exploit?
I don't know.
Does she even want the information about Sir Truarm or the school?
I don't know.
Then I don't. Then I don't think it's worth pursuing.
Kronk stands on Geraldine's other side and says, "But it's up to you. It's your decision. None of us can make it for you."
I don't know what alternative there is.
You're like the smartest person I know. You'll think of one.
I've been surrounded by this my entire life, and there's never been a better way. What way are you seeing that the
We could stake out the shipping lanes. We could get, Drazian's friend. We could go to the Sons of Adam.
Yeah,
They sound like a fun bunch.
I just got a favor I could call in.
Exactly.
I'll pay for whatever these people owe. If it'll means you'll just get yourself out of there.
Kyler's right. We have options.
I'm guilty of it too. I want to do things the way I was told, but
I
no, that's not a decision. That's another acceptance to what somebody else wants you to do.
I just want to be useful. I've never had anyone be proud of me. And the school asked me to do this, and this is all they gave me, and this is all I know.
Yeah, but right now, it looks like you're being used, not useful. By everyone, by the school, by Jax. Nobody's like, oh, that's very useful. You're just being used.
If some good comes of it, doesn't that make it worthwhile?
Not if it upsets you like this.
But that's never mattered.
Well, it does matter.
What? Yeah, why doesn't it matter?
It didn't matter to the school when they put me in this position.
Well, fuck the school.
It doesn't. Guys,
Right
They
now,
did
all
say-
we. Sorry, Kyler.
They did say if you didn't want to, you didn't have to, and I don't think you allowed yourself to say I didn't want to. Do you want to? Do you want to be at war with your family?
you see a way of not being at war with them. I don't get along with them. I don't get to reason with them. I don't get to happily greet them when they come visit. I don't get any of that.
No.
This is all there is.
And is this good?
Yeah, is this gonna fix it?
If all there is bad, then just don't deal with it at all.
Could you do that? Could you just say goodbye to all of it? Could you cut everyone off? Could you never see them again?
If they were like that woman, probably.
She's not even the worst one.
Yeah.
Then why do you want them back in your life so bad?
I don't know.
Are you just looking for a family? Because you have us.
Seems like I just cause you guys problems.
That's not true.
I mean, none of you
can't
guys
think of
want to
it.
be here. None of you guys wanted to be expelled. None of you guys wanted to take this job. None of you guys wanted to even come here.
Who told you that? I never said that. I think it's fun. I'm having a good time. They were like, oh, let's go to New Lynette. And I was like, I've never been to New Lynette. And so I got to go. And it was fun.
There's more reasons to do things than you want
Yeah.
to do them.
And also, I got to fight on somebody that you didn't like. That was pretty fun too. But we all have different reasons that we can do things. And just as easy as you could have said no, probably even easier, because school asked you, we could have said no. Lilith is here. I think she wanted to. You ever tried to get Lilith to do something she didn't want to do? It's not gonna happen.
Geraldine, we're here because we care about you.
Did you guys say that at the same time?
Yes, we did.
With Amanda.
And
Up on the table. How public are we right now? We're
Oh,
we're
you-
outside this fucking warehouse.
We're at,
Yeah.
you're in the
across
middle
the
of the
street.
street. There is like a small crowd of people who are kind of watching it. Like, is this is this street art? What's going on? This is a really these guys are good actors.
Yeah, it's. I feel like this is the wrong way to do things. I feel like it's your call to make, though. I hope you value my opinion, but I don't want it to be like the be all and end all. Similarly, like I don't want you to take anyone's opinion like that, you know?
It's your life, Geraldine. And
Is it?
no one else should get to tell you how to live it. Especially not arseholes like those ones in there.
Or us.
As this is all happening, Geraldine, and it almost shocks you with how different it is from everything else. But you hear your pixie go off. And as your pixie goes off, you look down at it. And it's a message from Jax. And it just says, if things go well, maybe you can be put back on the family tree. An obvious attempt at manipulating you. But those words there in front of you on the screen do confirm that you were at least at one point removed from your family tree.
What does it say?
Hand Kyler the picture.
Tyler sees the message.
Kyler locks the phone and puts it into the jean jacket pocket for a second and goes, all right, kneel down.
Right here?
You're on the street, Kyler.
Kyler,
What,
at
one-
least buy her
what-
dinner first.
One knee, and you three step in close.
Okay.
Alright. Okay.
Okay.
Kaz gonna look at Geraldine like, well, I'm waiting. One knee.
Does Geraldine get down on one knee?
Why?
Well, I'm not gonna make you do anything more to get something you deserve, so
Wolf is just gonna
What
look
the
at
fuck?
Drazy and like,
the word choice is deliberate.
We
don't worry.
just look at
It's-
each other like, okay.
woo, are you taking boost
Geraldine
on
is
this Drazian?
sobbing and so confused on the side of his street. Kyler, what are you even? What?
It's I'm gonna give you what you want. I'm gonna conduct a ceremony. That's what I'm gonna do.
I think GB's gonna look at Kronk. For what's going on? Like,
I mean, you heard him. I mean, again, you don't have, you can make your own decisions. I
People
guess,
are
but,
gathering
I
around.
mean, I'd get on my knees for Carla if he asked me to. So I think
You getting on your knees for Kyler would just mean that you're at head level.
I can do
I mean,
crawling
same
next.
thing for.
What?
I was kind of hoping this would be a cute surprise, but I was gonna induct you into a knightly order. I mean, that's the same thing, right?
Oh, what?
You know, like your name recorded among heroes, and you know.
Geraldine, I think this was a really cute thing that's about to happen. I feel like I'd love to give you a lot of shit or anything, but
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to. I mean,
No,
it's just
Geraldine will kneel, but she's
Oh.
sobbing.
Okay. Bear with me. I want to cast Wall of Water at 3rd level.
Okay.
You're gonna
To
soak
create
her.
to create
Ground
no,
Geraldine.
to create a hemispherical dome, 20 foot hemisphere around the Mandem,
Okay.
and I need to just
In the
look
middle of the
something
street.
Yeah, from the outside perspective, the group has like grouped in together, and then suddenly a rushing wall of water has come up from like beneath the ground, and is now creating this kind of divide, separating off the group from the onlookers. It is, I think,
Geraldine,
20 feet in diameter, so there's like loads of
Yeah.
space. Sorry.
yeah. Geraldine of White Fawn, will thou, upon this day, pledge thy fealty to the Mandem and stand as a knight of the realm? You have to say something. You have to say.
Yes.
Do you wish to honor thy friends and thyself in all you do in the future?
Yes.
Do you wish to be a shield of the noble and ignoble, Aquan Landwalker, and the Galewind from this day forth?
Yeah.
And then gonna withdraw Trina from the back holster and lay it in turn on each shoulder, and then lightly the middle prong, the flat, lightly against the tip of the head. It's like, then I, Kyler Crestwave, 3rd of that name, do hereby dub thee Geraldine of White Fawn as a member of the Order of the Mandem and a squire of House Crestwave, whose devotion should become a shining example to adventurers far and wide.
I agree.
Say we all?
Sure, fuck it.
Say-
Why not?
say-
Don't have anything better to do.
Say, yup. Yeah.
Yay.
Go, Geraldine. We love you.
Drazeen
Rise
puts
name
his hand
Geraldine.
in. And
But
goes,
yeah.
Mandam.
Mandem.
Mandem.
Geraldine, as you stand watching these 4 others who you've only known for like a month and a half, and you see the effort that they're putting in to not only make you feel included, but make you feel loved. And Kyler granting you the position of Squire of House Crestwave not only means that your legacy will live on written down somewhere, but that Boulevard isn't the only family you belong to anymore. You are a Crestwave now. By all laws of Noble House, you are, whether by name or by heart, Geraldine Crestwave. You see the group looking at you, Most looking enthusiastically, and Lilith looking very confused and apathetic towards the situation, but nonetheless, her hand still in the middle, joined with the others. Do you put your hand out on top?
Yeah.
Geraldine puts her hand out on top, creating the stack of 5 hands on top of each other.
And as the music comes to an end, and the ceremony comes to an end with the hand still on Trina, Kyler goes into like the very apex of the dome, throws Trina upwards, which bursts the spell. And just a cascading shower of water out onto the onlookers.
Mm-hmm.
And then Trina just drops down like in a straight line and is just caught the other way. A la Minecraft tridents.
Now, Geraldine, do you give us permission to misbehave now?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Let's go find
Wrong.
Pseudo.
Kronk pulls up the charm bracelets that Kyler gave him up over his glove and like punches them together and goes, "Let's fucking wreck some goddamn capitalists, yeah."
Alright, let's go. Adventuring Guild, East Cloud Top District, if I can get my words out. I think that's the best place to start. Then, where was it your friend said to go, Kronk?
I could split off and go to talk to the Sons of Atom at the Quarter Pass. Is
it
what my friend
Atom?
Huskry says.
Or Adam. Like, is it
Are you making fun of me accent?
a little bit. Not making fun of, seeking clarification.
The Sons of Adam. I feel like if I say it, they'll know what I'm saying. I don't think they'll ask for a spell check at
That's
the gate.
true, but
You know,
it's more for like my own. If you
I
imagine
think-
I was taking notes in my head, it's more for.
I think, and I might have to ask the skies above, but what I wrote in the notes in my head was like D is in dolphin,
D as in D's nuts.
D as in E's nuts.
Okay, Adventurers Guild, and then the Sons of Adam.
Yeah, there's no need for us to
And-
split up. Kronk, you're coming with. I want you to meet Pseudo. I think you'll like him.
All right, I will have my own adventure, but all right.
Okay. Not a problem.
Oh, I also give Geraldine back her pixie. After that. It's not waterproof, Kyler's is, which could very quickly be like, oh no, you don't have a phone anymore.
Don't worry, I've got a backup. Whoa.
I do want to ask. You said that this was a ceremony. Were you casting? I'll say for like roleplay purposes. Were you casting the ceremony spell?
I don't have it prepared today. And
That's wild. It's rule of cool.
Okay. So it would.
Yeah, Mike is actually.
That's
gonna
wild. I
cancel that
didn't ask
whole
you, but you
thing.
had it prepared, bro.
It technically wasn't any of the ceremonies listed. It's not atonement. It's not blessed water. It's not coming of age. It's not dedication because it's not dedication to the god.
Mhm.
It's not funeral
Coming of
rite,
age.
obviously, and it's not
It's
wedding.
a little bit coming of age.
It actually was a wedding. Geraldine and Kyler are now married.
I mean, you took his name.
I gave.
Well,
And the wedding was consummated right there on the street. That's why she was on her knees.
I mean, it was wet. So
It was wet. I don't.
wet knees names. Those are the three required.
All and
What did
Much
you
the-
say? Whoa! Whoa!
Wait, what?
I don't want to. I don't want to hold things up, Mux.
Yeah.
So let's figure out if it could be any one of these or a similar effect.
a later time.
Yeah.
No problem.
Or like if there's an actual gameplay benefit or anything, we'll figure it out. But
As people start
Yeah.
sort of like walking towards their, I guess the directions, I guess Drazian and Kronk are going in one way, and or we're all just
we're all
moving
going to the
forward.
Adventurers Guild.
Okay. when Kyler gives GB back her pixie, I'm just gonna like squeeze his hand and see if he'll keep holding it. And she'll say
Like,
thanks.
for how long? Like walking in tandem, or just for a
No,
minute?
just a sec. A elongated hand squeeze, but not like holding.
Long enough that the group walks ahead and
Yeah.
one of them kind of turns around to check if you two are following.
Drazian turns his head to look to see if they're following and sees the hand squeeze, and just grins and turns around again.
It's, don't. What is it they say in Primordial? De nada. Don't worry about it. It's okay.
I don't think any of those mean the same thing.
Don't they?
I
Remember
don't
the
think
facts?
so. I can check a book later, but I don't think so.
Well, it's nice
Read a
to be
book.
Kyler Crestwave again. Marnik Salt Saint is my cousin. He's a little bit of a what's the polite term? Loser.
Yeah, Geraldine Boulevard's not so great either.
It's not how you have to call yourself anymore, Dame Geraldine of White Fawn, Order of the Mandem, Squire of House Crestwave.
We need to come up with a nickname then. That's way too long of a name.
Oh, I suppose GB doesn't work anymore, does it?
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
GC is an acronym for group
Oh my-
chat.
I don't like that.
Um,
We'll have to come up with another
Yeah.
one.
It can be a bit confusing whenever you say, "Yeah, I was in the GC."
what did
Jerry.
you say? What did you say? What do you mean by that? We'll
do you mean by
think of something. We'll think of something. I'm excited. Adventurers guilds are really cool. I haven't been to this one before. I don't know anyone here either, which is also cool. You know, there's no big players, but that's not what really matters, is it?
Nobody on the trading cards.
They don't have any trading cards. I mean, it's kind of a write-off, but I mean,
Geraldine's just walking and like trying to like touch up her makeup and collect herself from looking like a fucking wreck. Is any of the Mandem like wet from the dome of water?
probably
I mean-
like a little bit. Yeah, it was
Can-
like a it was a burst. So yeah.
Yeah,
Wet,
Croc's head's
like-
probably a little bit soggy.
Wet in the way that you get wet whenever you're like on like a log flume ride. Not like
So we were in
drizzle.
proximity to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not like soaking wet though.
So like okay.
So yeah.
Kat also needs to get her mascara out of her eyeballs.
What's it doing in there, Goofy?
I didn't put it there myself. Trust and believe.
This was the
We'll
mascara.
catch up. We'll catch up to the Mandem in relative
Yeah.
short order. I feel.
Okay.
Kyle's taking like two steps, and Geraldine taking like 4.
Emotional moment. Everybody hydrate.
Yeah. Where's Kronk in proximity to GB right now?
Kronk's a good few, like, 15 steps ahead.
GB's gonna run up to Kronk and see if she'll give her uppies.
You're right at like booty level, so you're gonna have to get his attention. If you run right
she'll
up,
like his arms like on your shoulders.
like a girlfriend who wants attention, just slapping.
Uppies,
her butt.
uppies.
Oh,
I-
this little
If
Gerald.
you're not giving me uppies right now, I will piss all over your shoes.
Can I just
There's little Gerald.
just for a little?
There's little Gerald. Yes, there's little Gerald. You want uppies? I mean, yeah, the
Kronk, you see Geraldine. Sorry, Kyler, you see Geraldine sitting in your seat.
That was literally my.
That's
thought
my
was
spot.
gonna be like,
That's my spot.
was
Geraldine is very emotional and trying to turn it around, and she's gonna sort of like lean down to Kronk and go, Kronk, can I wear the handkerchief?
yeah, you can wear the handkerchief. You're God up there.
Kyler, you,
Yeah.
that Kyler is the one that's going to start crying.
Unironically, I do want Kat just like kind of nudge Grong like, we good? We good, bro?
Oh, nudge Kronk? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We're good. We got it. We're solid.
Geraldine
wanna
is
be-
happily sobbing with a handkerchief on, unaware that Kronk and Kyler are talking like 4 feet below her.
We wanted the exact same thing. We just wanted different ways to get it.
You want to be the world's greatest entertainer, right? That's the
That would
that
be
the goal?
cool. Yeah, that'd be rad.
I believe in you.
Oh, thank you. Well, you know that I've already said it. I know that you're gonna be the #1 adventurer. Abadar True who? Carla Crestwave. That's it.
As the group is marching forth towards the Cloud District, Cloud Quarter. I can't remember. right now what you
East
recognized it.
Cloud Top
Cloud
District. I wrote it down when you said it the
Yeah.
You
other
get
week.
to the Cloud District often.
Do you visit the Cloud?
Of course you don't.
I couldn't remember which one you guys had like taken to calling it because we made the Skyrim joke before,
Yeah.
and that's why I was like, wait, did we start calling it Cloud Quarter or Cloud District? Do you get to the Cloud Top District?
Oh no,
of
Cloud Song District. That's what it was.
Cloud Song District.
I thought you wrote it down. SMH my head.
Shaking my head.
As you guys are walking towards the Cloud Song District, towards this Adventurers Guild, early, late afternoon, early evening by now. It's like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock-ish. Like really like early evening, but it is like the sun is going down. As you guys are walking along, you see the streets begin to fill with life. People are no longer working, people are coming home. There's younger children now flooding the streets as school time has ended. It's the first time where you kind of see truly New Lynette as a bustling kind of city. You've seen it be busy, but this is like one of the rush hours, and you see it really is like hundreds of thousands of people live here, and it shows. As you continue along the paths and the streets, the cobbled stone of the Port Harbour district and that area beginning to turn into the smooth, reworked roads of the Cloud Song district. And as you continue and walk and up, by the time you manage to get to the Adventurers Guild in the Cloud Song district, it is about 5 p.m. All your stomachs are maybe starting to get a little bit.
Kyler is vibrating like a doorstopper.
Of like being like a couple of Kyler. The moment that like the Adventurers Guild came into sight and Kyler recognized the kind of depending on where you are, the Adventurers Guilds are built differently. Obviously, in Ravendow, it is a more humble building. Here in New Lynette and in most of the larger places in White Fawn, there's kind of a standard building style. And as Kyler turns the corner and sees the grey slate high-level architecture that feeds down into red brick that then goes into the ground. As Kyler sees this as you round the corner, Kyler begins to emit an audible
The booming blade is going off with Notar just.
I just give Kyler a look at it and I go in. Because this is something that both Kyler and me would have like grown up learning about. Would have been adventuring guild.
Yeah.
So we just like share a bit of a look.
And you notice from the outset that this is Luckily, due to the fact that you all are getting hungry, this is all now um big, like you can see. Oh, there's like a restaurant and like a bar here. You can see table seating out the front. The general vibe, as the weather is still quite warm, but the sun is lowering, it feels almost like, whenever you're on vacation. I'm going to be like 100% honest. This might be unique to people who have vacationed like in like warmer climates, like specifically like Spain and France and stuff. Whenever you go on vacation and there's those restaurants and bars where the seating is all outside and it's warm and you can see people enjoying the food that's being brought out to them. You can see the steam rising into the air and you can smell it from like 20 meters away. And just like, oh, this is amazing. And there's that kind of thing going on. And as you guys walk up, you're met at the door by a younger fellow who kind of like looks at you guys and goes, hi there. Sorry, before you guys enter. And he's like holding food. He's like holding a tray of food in one hand. Before you guys enter, I do have to ask to see identification. Just make sure you guys are adventurers.
Kyler just whips the shoulder and like,
yeah, we whip out adventure identification.
Okay. Yeah, he just has a look at everybody's adventure identification. Okay, no problem. You guys, one moment. And he kind of rushes down the remainder of these steps, sets the food down, and comes back to you now with the tray tucked under his arm. You guys know where you're going? Have you been to I haven't seen you guys around here before. Are you part of the Cloud Song Eastern Adventurers Guild? Or?
No, but one of my friends and former colleagues is Pseudo about?
Pseudo's not here at the moment, but he stays here. He'll be back at some point.
Could we
like tonight? He will be back at some point tonight, but he's just not here right now.
Could we get something to eat in here and wait for him? Would that be possible? He'll know who I am. I used to be his commanding officer.
Sure. You guys have your badges. Are you looking for your comp meal, or do you guys want to order off the menu? Your comp meal is obviously just your standards, get you guys by. If you want anything fancy, you're gonna have to order off the menu, and that will cost you money.
it's been a long day.
That's fine. Yeah. Let's order off the menu. We've had a day of it, so yeah, that'd be fantastic.
We did commit insurance fraud, so.
Yeah, I
Thanks for the
suppose it's
money.
No, we didn't.
You see, he just kind of like he looks at you and he goes,
It's a joke. She does this sometimes.
It's-
well, I mean,
it's,
I'm hilarious.
Some of those inside jokes that sometimes sound real bad.
I'm delirious. I have rabies. Don't come near me.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's one of them.
Yeah.
You get it. And what's the lodging situation? Is there some kind of accommodation here at the guild that you could supply us, or?
We added. We have some additional lodging available. I don't know if we don't have any large suites enough to house all of you, so we'd have to either break you up into smaller rooms or.
That's fine.
Yeah, if you guys are cool with that, then yeah, we have some rooms.
Sweet. Then could we sit down and order something off the menu? That'd be great.
Sure. Do you guys want to?
Wait,
Do you guys want to sit outside or
Geraldine
inside?
still on my shoulders?
Yeah.
Yeah, Geraldine is still on your shoulders, still wearing the hat kerchief, which is like a huge hat.
And she is looking like she is thinking strangely hard about something since Lilith made the comment about insurance fraud. Geraldine has not put two and two together yet. Geraldine has been preoccupied.
Did we not explain what we? I
No.
was sure we explained it at the end of the last session.
You did not!
No. You just started walking away.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I thought I thought Lilith and Kronk had. Okay, so I don't even know what the full thing was about yet. Right, cool, fair enough, sweet. Yeah, that's a
So we're
conversation we'll
inside.
pick up on. Cool. We'll discuss that inside. Yeah, we follow the waiter
Well,
doorman.
he was asking, do you guys want to sit inside or outside?
I think inside at this point is probably a good idea.
Does Kronk fit inside?
Yeah, there are far larger
Far
beings.
larger species, yeah.
There are far larger beings than
Oh,
Kronk that are
That's
currently.
not what you meant, was it?
No, that was what I meant. But
Oh.
GB is gonna hop off of Kronk.
Well, the door is still tall enough for you to walk through on Kronk's shoulders.
Really?
There's
Okay.
tall
Then, no,
motherfuckers
GB's staying
in
then.
These
GB's
are-
absolutely staying on that. If
these
if
are-
Kronk
these are-
can walk through the doorway, then she's
These
staying
are
on
Dark
shoulders.
Souls boss room level doors.
Yeah, buddy.
Like, giant genasi, like elementals and Loxodon, and there's.
Speaking of, as you walk through, there is a giant.
Speaking of, when you walk through, a health
What's up
bar
there?
appears. It spans the entire bottom.
And ominous music starts playing.
Kylie looks like a kid on Christmas. Like, just looking at the boards, looking at the walls, just looking at the people like, what's I'm talking about.
It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
It's pretty cool. I've not been here
Wait.
before.
Would GB have been in here before?
Not this one. No,
Not this one. Okay.
GB would have been like the main headquarters of the Adventurers Guild,
Gotcha.
but not specifically this one.
Okay.
What do you call it? Sorry, just speaking of, as you walk through, you see a sleeping giant and a health bar appears. I see you've come for what I hold dear.
Let me solo her.
No.
One
The
starts rolling.
Yep.
with Geraldine still on.
just like holding onto the handkerchief.
No, but yeah, as you guys walk through, there is literally like a hill giant just kind of chilling at an incredibly large table. And it's just kind of like
You
rest.
think I could? You think I could fight that guy?
Maybe right now.
I just mean in general.
Yeah, I think you could take him, buddy. You
Hill
know,
giants stand around 16 feet tall.
Kronk. Bigger they are, how do they fall?
But he's lying down
just get
right
him
now,
around,
right?
Just get him around the ankles.
Sitting down.
He is sitting at like an incredibly large table with his like gut like pushing out under the table. And his
size
arms
creature
are like that is it doesn't matter because your special or your specialist grappler feat, your specialist subclass allows you to grapple any sized creature.
It's probably large.
No,
like
Hill
huge,
Giant.
is it?
Hill Giant is huge.
Still that huge?
Huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
I've got him in an ankle lock, but it's the entire thing.
But it's with your whole body.
Also, just for reference, Hill Giants are the smallest classification of giant.
Yeah. Is
And
he
this guy-
is he ironically ranked at like Storm Giant as well? Like
Well, there is no Hill Giant ranking.
rank, yeah. So is it like another type of giant?
Well, he doesn't have his thing on display, so you don't know.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Funny, but
He is just sitting there, like you can see he's shoveling just piles and piles of, you assume, raw potatoes into his mouth, just like scooping them up with a single hand and just
cool.
And he turns his head and watches you guys come in, and he just focuses on you all.
I give him a wave and a nod. All right, buddy.
And in a moment, that for those of you, probably for Kronk, that is life altering. Kronk watches as the giant lifts up a tankard that is maybe about 4.5 feet tall,
Banger.
which is like, yeah, about just over half of Kronk's height.
That is a bat.
Yeah. As he lifts this tankard to his jaw and he and sets it down.
And he's eating raw potatoes?
You assume they're raw because you don't see any like steam or anything coming
Boil
with it.
them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
Geraldine is going to womp on Kronk's shoulder. Do you still have the blueberry potato bag?
Yeah. I still got the potatoes and the blueberries.
Go give him a couple. We'll be friends.
I could. All right. And I saunter on over. Hello. My name's Kronk.
He turns and he looks down at you. Do you speak giant?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks down at you. Oh, hello there.
Oh, hello. And I speak back in giant.
Yeah,
Hello.
to outsiders, this speaking of giant just sounds like several rocks tumbling down a hill.
Someone took over a sitar.
Geraldine is
Hello.
leaning on Kronk like,
I have this bag, right? And this bag has a potato inside it, but it's magic and it is blue and it tastes like blueberries. Would you like to try a blueberry potato?
He leans down and takes the potato out of your hand, and for you it doesn't like take up your whole hand. It's like a normal sized potato, so you kind of can hold it like that. It's to other people they would be like using their entire hand to like grab it. It's like a big potato. To you, you can like kind of hold it comfortably like a baseball
Between
ball.
his fingers like a fucking skittle.
He does. He picks it down and he's holding it. It kind of looks like, you know, whenever you see like horse pills or whatever, and they're like that big. That's all it looks like to him. He's just kind of.
Are these fucking ketamine potatoes, Max?
And you watch as his face kind of goes. What kind of sorcery do you make, you tiny rock wizard?
Oh, okay. So I gotta be honest. It was an accident. I had this bag that just made potatoes, right? And I just like kind of roll the potatoes to him. I just start like rolling potatoes across the table, right? I just keep on doing it. I had
The
this.
table is like for you. You're kind of like reaching up
Buckets,
slightly and like rolling them on.
buckets,
Yeah.
Buckets. All right, so I had this bag that made potatoes, and then I wanted to see if I put blueberries in it for my friend who's sitting on top of my head here. I wanted to see if that would make blueberries for her. But what ended up happening is it just ended up making potatoes that tasted like blueberries. And I figured, since you're eating so many potatoes, you would love to taste blueberry potatoes. And I'm glad that you like them.
do you
He's
have any
exhausted.
idea of how this gigantic, the hill giant is feeling about the potatoes?
He has
Can
a
she
look
tell
of,
if he likes them or not?
I hope
He
it
has a
wasn't
look
bad
of-
because now Kronk is fucking chucking potato. Kronk antagonizing. He's like, "Oh, you hate him? Yeah, bitch. Yeah, take him. Take him."
Does he like them or not?
Yeah,
no,
yeah, of course he likes them.
Okay.
I'll throw potatoes at. Why would
I
I don't want to
didn't-
antagonize this man.
I didn't know.
Okay, no, I understand. It's not a language. I understand that giant doesn't sound. Hey, buddy, how do you like 'em?
These are the most incredible thing I've ever tasted.
Do you
It's
think
like
it tastes?
fruit, but starchy.
Do you think it's too potato-y or too blueberry-y? Could it maybe like go one way or the other? Or is it perfect, you think?
He takes a handful and throws them in his mouth.
I think that if you made them a little bit less dry, you could make a lot of money from this.
All right, all right. I'll keep that in mind. I might try some stuff in and get back to you. What's your name, friend?
You speak giant, so you will be able to say my true name. For in our tongue, it is Howard.
All right, all right. Hey, nice to meet you, Howard. I'm Kronk.
Oh, you can say this because you speak giant, but I do apologize for your friends. What they must be hearing should be excruciating.
I reach
No,
up and cover Geraldine's ears.
Geraldine, you're just hearing the sound of like avalanches as these two are talking back and forth. But yeah,
Phoebe's got a little bit of an adrenaline high. She's just vibing.
Howard the
She's
Hill Giant
exhausted.
just goes back to like eating what's left of the blueberry potatoes, and then kind of like wiping these huge collections of crumbs off of his chest, and then going back to his regular potato stack.
Howard. If you have a pixie, do you have a pixie or anything that I could get your number on so I could contact you if I make better potatoes or if I just have excess?
Howard looks at his fingertip, which is larger than any pixie.
All right. No, I mean I get that, right? But like I don't know if they've got a custom made,
I don't think they do them for our size yet.
Man, that kind of sucks. They do doorways, and of course I don't have the issues that you do, I'm sure, being twice my size, but, they do doorways and they do tables. They're trying their best, but they still got a way to go with some of the bigger guys in the larger sizes, you know?
They do good deals, but their big and tall collection is lacking.
Absolutely, you're totally right. That's why I mostly just walk around in sweatpants. I found a good pair I like from a big and tall store, and it makes me look good, and that's just about it.
I had to start wearing regular underwear because they didn't like the way that everything was hanging out.
That's atrocious. If they don't make the stuff in our size, they should deal with the way the stuff hangs. That's my philosophy.
If you don't like the angle of the dangle, then move your eyes.
That's what I'm saying. It's a pleasure to meet you, Howard. If I end up with any extra potatoes, I'll send them your way. All right, big man?
He like reaches down and shakes your hand, and your hand is like encompassed within like your hand is like
I reach back and hold Geraldine with one hand and shake his hand with the other, so the force doesn't like knock her
Yeah.
off completely.
Geraldine is like holding on to Krunk for dear life. Just like, I guess, is it around his actual head?
Yeah.
Or is there's enough like neck space that she can like
I'm being choked. I'm being choked.
it would be around like the top of his head.
Okay.
'Cause if you're on his shoulders, then
Yeah.
your legs are going to be over his shoulders.
Over, yeah, okay, yeah. So it'd be like leaning down on top
Yeah.
of his head, yeah.
like there.
Yeah.
Okay. Kyler, while the group have been away, well, not the group, but while Geraldine and Kronk have been off, talking to Howard the Giant, you walk in and you're immediately
Muted. Server muted.
you're immediately met with the, to you, awe-inspiring sight of a bunch of the promotional images, some of which feature your dad, other members of the Ten, some famous adventurers here, there, everywhere. There's posters, there is announcements. One that catches your eye is the announcement of a Storm Giant promotional test to be held within the near future. Just informing everybody that it will be coming up. So like, if you're planning to move up in rank, get yourself ready, you can go do this, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Bar that, the inside just filled you with the same kind of, like a child in a candy store. There's adventurers all around you. You can see
Taking pictures of the walls and stuff, like all the art.
You can see everybody being very like lively and everything happening. Lilith, as you walk into the room, there are several wolf whistles thrown your way. The kind of typical, like, there's like a table of adventurers who are all having a drink and they kind of like whistle at you and they start to like, kind of generally
throws a Molotov cocktail on it.
I put my hand around Lola's waist.
I'm gonna just put my hand on the gun in my holster. Like if I have a jacket that's covering it, I'm just gonna kind of like do that cowboy flip it back, like.
Girl.
I give Lilith's hand a squeeze as well, just to be like, I'm here.
Some of them like stop, and some of them just laugh and go back to what they were doing, just kind of like acknowledging that you don't like it, but like laughing at the, kind of the situation of, there's a gun.
They'll laugh.
Yeah.
People can get shot here and not feel it. That is a thing.
They'll laugh.
What would you like to do about that, baby?
Can I throw a dagger just directly, like, if is someone's hand on the table?
Oh yeah.
Can I throw a dagger, like, at it? Like...
You go ahead, make an attack roll.
But not to hit it. Just, like, next to it. Like, I want it to land between their fingers. Do I need to roll for, like...
Yeah, you're gonna need to roll for accuracy.
How do I
Still,
that up?
it's still gonna be an attack roll, but, like... You're going to be, if you're aiming for a specific thing.
So I guess it depends on what dagger you use. You have
She's going to miss and it's going to get somebody in the eye.
So you have a regular dagger?
I have a regular dagger.
You do also
just
have
use the regular dagger.
Venom
No,
that
just
can be
use the
thrown.
regular one. What do I roll? Someone tell me what I roll.
It's the +6 right next to it. So it says dagger, this is +6.
Okay.
It hits someone in the eye.
I think it's that bad.
You hear the laughter and you freeze. And you kind of reach down as if you're like going to adjust your boots. And you pull out a dagger and you spin and you throw it. And it would have landed between their fingers if they had gone mid-laugh. And their hand, the dagger goes into the back of their hand. And they just look at their hand as the dagger sits there. The blade entirely through their palm.
I'm gonna act like I meant to do that.
You can see their hand like shakes slightly, and they put it down on the table and they push, using the force of the table, they push the dagger back through their hand, pull it, put it on the table, cast some sort of healing spell, and you watch as the muscles and sinew of their hand grow back, kind of like some eldritch horror of loom weaving. You watch the muscles and the veins kind of loop and wrap around each other, and the skin grows back in this crisscross pattern until it is complete. And they pick up the dagger. They look at you. And they just go, I'm keeping this one. And puts it in his own like belt. He is noticeably annoyed, but is not going to start an argument over something as little as a stabbing.
Something as little as a stabbing.
I love D&D.
Would that be
One of
enough?
my all-time favorite things that's ever been said. Not going to start anything
Deal.
over a little stabbing.
You can if you want. It's D&D. You can do anything.
We're here, we're friends, we do a little bit of stabbing.
Let's put some stabbing between friends.
I stab you, you stab me,
Think
I
about
stab your
D&D.
mother
You
mother
can do
stabs me,
anything.
I stab your father stabs your mother. It's a happy circle.
Circle.
I said, and that's when I walked up to him and I said, knife to meet you. And I stabbed him.
On the Shankill Road.
Brilliant.
So yeah, Lilith, do you do anything else, or do you just kind of accept? Okay, fair enough. You still have your other dagger.
I do.
And daggers are incredibly cheap.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm-
He
I'm
does
cool
look
with
at you
it.
with that like annoyed look, and he goes, "I'm keeping this one," and then puts it into his holster, like around his belt. But you can see visibly from where you are that his arm is still shaking from the nerve damage. So like the shock is still in his system, and he's kind of waiting that out now. You can see that he has to like swap the hand that he holds his drink with, hoping that the weight of the tankard will help steady his hand as he brings it up.
So he's drinking from the hand that I stabbed him.
Yeah. Trying to use it as like the weight of the tankard to like steady the grip.
He's physiotheraping himself right now.
Yeah, he is.
I don't do anything else. That's fine. I made my point.
Okay.
The point.
But
Yeah,
Through
the point
his hand.
of the blade. Okay. You
I
guys-
Eldritch blast it. No, just kidding.
I thought you were gonna shoot him. I straight up thought you were gonna shoot him right between the eyes.
Drazian
Krampus
casts
gonna have to
lightning
come-
bolt on him.
Tracy, how many times do we have to tell you that that goes through a lot of things?
I
A
do
lot
want my
of things.
dagger back though.
I mean, you still have the other dagger, and like daggers, you could pick up like any knife and
That
use it
is
as a
the
dagger.
principle of the thing.
I
Do
think
you
the
wanna try to
principle is
pickpocket
I know,
that
as
you
he
threw a
walks
knife
along?
Oh,
at
yeah.
someone.
Wait, what's
Yeah.
your
a knife to someone for
Like,
being a
just
prick.
stand
Like,
That's fair. He can have it.
Scroll
Um,
down. Let's
I
just-
actually could definitely pickpocket him later though.
What about right now? Like right when he walks away. What's your
Is he? I mean, he's sat at a table. He's not walking away.
While they like figure out things, while they figure out Alaska's Lilith's pickpocket, the rest of you get a seat at a table that sits enough
can it
of
be
you.
beneath? Can it be beneath the photo of Kyler's dad?
It can, yes.
Deliberately, so people go, "Oh, you two look kind of similar."
But it, beneath
that's
one of
crazy.
beneath one of the many posters of Kyler's dad.
So you could be
considering-
like,
Yeah.
that's pretty racist, man.
What? You think I look like him just because I'm awkward?
Yikes, dude.
all Aquans look alike.
Yeah. I'm not
you're
even
in luck.
trained. I'm a sea elf.
Do you know Kyler Crestwave the second? What? Because I'm an Aquan, you think I know all other Aquans?
Well, yeah, actually. Yeah.
There's like many different like promotional posters, kind of like almost like the Uncle Sam, like your country needs you kind of posters, but with Kyler's dad.
Someone draw it
Because
immediately.
while he may not be number one of the
Tyler's
10,
dad
he's
needs to join the ROTC.
while he might not be number one of the 10, he's definitely the highest ranked, most charismatic.
Number one in our hearts.
The C in ROTC stands for Crestwave.
Rise of the crest wave.
That's the name. That's the name of the module that we are releasing here at ADID. Rise of the Quest Wave is our first adventure module. Quest Wave. Rise of the
Quest Wave, Best Wave.
Is the first adventure module that we will be releasing. And if it's your first adventure module, then you will be called an ROTC kid. Just so you know.
Wait a minute. Wait a
Where did you
start
start?
Immediately.
Revenge of the
What was your
Crestwave.
first module? Oh, my first module was it
Not
was Dragon of
RPC.
Ice Spire Peak. What was yours? Well, it's about this really weird celebrity guy who's like kind of a superhero, and you kind of accompany him on an adventure where he like just leaves you to deal with stuff, and you're like, okay, but it's all underwater, and I think he was
They
wearing a
maybe rolled
floral
a
shirt
D-Vision.
over plate armor. Like,
Banger.
Damn, Mr. Crestwave the second. Are those the New Balance? Those the New Balance shoes? Yeah, they give me +2 to my dex.
Gronk would wear.
Let's be honest, he definitely
those
wears Crocs.
on holiday,
Crocs.
he does.
I feel like he's got the
Uh,
boating shoes.
Yes.
Kronk wears
Sperry's.
Skechers.
This is Sperry's. Like some worn in Sperry's.
Yeah.
In my
What are they
mind,
worn in?
in my mind, Kronk wears like the wide fit Skechers.
Ultra wide.
Yeah.
Gronk shoe size? Only 9. Actually.
But
A
just
9 men's?
just like no like normal like length, but just incredibly wide.
Square feet.
The
For a
most
second,
rectangular ass.
Tuck feet over here.
Roblox ass feet.
Be tripping over him.
For a second, I was like, how
Bro's
does Kronk
feet
have
felt
the
like a-
same size feet as me?
Bro's feet built like a duck bill, just like a platypus's tail.
It's Feety the Platypus!
Kronk's built like a fucking rock'em sock'em robot.
Oh my god.
A platypus? Kronk the platypus!
a lesson in minimalism and how our brain connects things. Eh? Eh?
Oh.
But as you guys have sat down beneath this huge poster of Kyler Crestwave II, food is ordered. I will say that you all get to order whatever you would like, whatever you're feeling. We'll say it comes up to a split price of about 10 gold each if you're ordering something really fancy, or like 5 gold each if you're just going for simples.
Okay, I'll take that out.
Pardon me. As you're all kind of like tucking into your meal, whether you're Kronk and ripping into the largest portion of steak and potato that you've seen in a while, Kronk is bulking right now. Or if you're, just eating something a bit more relaxed and calm, or if you're eating something like a noodle dish or seafood, whatever you're doing, you all fall into that, that state after a really long day, or like if you're like out with a bunch of friends and everybody gets like you after you've been out with friends, everybody gets food, and you all just fall silent and fall into the food trance of just eating your food and drinking whatever you have with you, and you just fall into that lull. That's what you're all relaxed and sitting in before you hear the doors swing open once more, followed by this enormous kind of "Yeah, I'm back!" Yeah, and like a bunch of people are like clapping and cheering, and you all kind of turn around. Kyler probably faster than most because Kyler hears this and thinks it's somebody famous and turns around. And walking through the door is fairly average looking person. Nice armor, looking a little battle scarred. Battle scarred. This shock of white and red hair that, as everybody's kind of like clapping and cheering, some people are coming up and clapping him on the back. Even Hard the Hill Giant kind of like stomps his feet a few times as a form of applause. As he passes by, all you can see right now is the hair. But for you, Drazian, that's enough. You see this shock of hair amidst the crowd and realize that walking towards your table, not like directly towards your table, but he will be walking past, is Pseudo.
I immediately shout out to him, "Oi, Pseudo, you ugly bastard, get your ass over here!"
It kind of gets lost in the mix until you see the hair begin to move and like dodge through the crowd until two hands push people out of the way and Pseudo's face appears through the crowd and makes eye contact with Drazian, and the eyes kind of go, and he looks incredibly, it was like, who the fuck said that to me? What the fuck? What the fuck? Like 3 different stages. And as Pseudo's confused face looks at you, Drazian, that's where we're going to call it for tonight. And we'll pick back up next week with the conversation between Pseudo and Drazian and what may lie ahead within the city of New Lynette for the Mandem. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, everybody, all my players, for being such good sports and allowing me to give you emotional crippling damage. We will raid into someone.
Perception Studio are live.
Okay, Perception Studio. Let's go for them.
Sweet.
The X Games are live.
Okay.
Oh my god,
we're-
we were just on X Games mode.
Right.
The LEC is live.
We are
Mo.
raiding into Perception Studio. Thanks everybody for coming. It was great to have you all here. Are we back on Friday for Your All in Ace?
We should be.
Plan?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll go and plan.
Sweet. Okay. Sweet. We will see you guys on Friday for On the Case for Your All in Ace, and then we'll be back here again on Sunday. Thanks very much, guys. Bye.